Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Dory K for a little bit late episode of Metacast 36 covering our Week 6 matches going into Week 7. And today I've actually got a few guests. This time we brought out all the guns. We brought out some players from DA Obsidian, JDK, a staple of the team, as well as Calzip Jr., who's been helping the team make quite the turnaround going into the second half of the season, as well as Kopek, the sub mid laner slash jungler slash support. What have you played, Kopek? Kopek's played just about every role for Sun Leviathan. Depends on who falls asleep that night. So,
yep.
Welcome, guys. Yep. Welcome to the cast. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
And I'm actually super excited specifically to have Calzip, just because your team has kind of hyped you up a lot. And it's pretty funny what has happened the last couple weeks now.
Yeah, for sure. I've only been playing with the team for like 3 weeks after Void, messaged me, was like, hey, we need a jungler. And I go, okay, I'm only available this one day. He goes, I'll make that work. So here we are.
So you're saying the secret is to have teams like force you guys to play on a different day?
I've been more lenient, I've been growing on these guys, really like playing with them, make some more time for them, But no, I mean, can't say about this week, but
we'll see. I mean, you guys do face off against Raijin, so I mean, you might not be needed. We'll see. Definitely offense taken. I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've noticed as the podcast has gone on and the season's gone on, I have grown a tendency to be a little less lenient with how I talk about the teams. Especially given last week. I do have to make one correction, Raijin. I put you in 10th last week. I didn't mean it. I forgot you won a match. It was against Clown Fiesta, and you never know what to expect with that, but you have won a match. That's awesome. So we fixed it. Kinda.
I know. I think you're a little brutal on the O2 teams last week or the week before.
I'm sorry. I don't even remember the O2 teams. Who were they last week?
Or the two like winless teams. I think we were almost a part of it, but we just got out. We got out of that tier.
Yeah, Raijin, Cafe DRX, and Scarlet Vengeance all went O2 last week.
I was tempted to start inserting like Stonks memes and stuff and just being like, yeah, DA Obsidian's slowly declining. Last week I specifically was worried about definitely NMU, but they also turned it around. So I think maybe I should just start saying teams are doing badly and then they just like turn it around that next week at this point.
Reverse psychology, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did have a stream last night. This episode should be going up when that's still relevant. We had a delayed stream. We did Thursday. OME Outbreak got the 2-0 over Scarlet Vengeance. Little asterisk, they were late, so they had to forfeit game 1, and it was a very close game too. So I think OME Outbreak and Scarlet Vengeance are pretty close, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. So on the screen, you guys can see standings. Horizon Gaming Zenith still sitting on top, but they lost a game. And boy, was that a game.
Damn. Yeah, I feel like so far from Horizon Gaming Zenith, I feel like there was no like chinks in their armor. Like, I feel like well, we got smashed with them on stream too, so I thought they were like clear number ones for so long.
Yeah, I think just with like Clown Fiesta, they just have like a 15% chance to win any game. Like they could literally be up against like Damwon and just have like a 15% chance of, or it's not Damwon now, it's D+. I don't know why they changed their name. Anyways, just yeah, I feel like just Clown Fiesta could just has a 15% chance to win any game, regardless of who they're up against. And they just happened to do that last week against
Horizon.
Against Horizon, yeah.
They took a random game, and it kind of feels like it's the style for them, especially because like they lost 2-0 to 2-0 to Raijin, which was surprising to say the least.
That's a bit of a head scratcher. I think my other this is the other thing I was going to say about that game. I don't expect any team to win if a player below Diamond is playing Kindred. So
oh no, they won. Sorry, Raijin won 2-1 against the Clown Fiesta. So Clown Fiesta did coin flip heads once in that series. But yeah, Kindred's been interesting. Kowzup, do you have thoughts on Kindred? At least we'll put it in the circle of Krypton meta, because I think we have a relatively good idea of how it goes in the pro meta right now. But
I think Kindred is just one of those champions where she needs like resources in order to perform well. And if your team's not going to be playing around you, like if you're going to have like carry top laner, carry mid laner, it's just not going to work out as well. But if you have somebody who will like take a punch, and just sack lane and play for Kindred, I think she's one of the better junglers. Especially if you're able to like invade with like your mid laner. It's huge because you can put the enemy jungler behind while also like you snowball.
And to be fair to Horizon, they did play like Ornn and Talia in the solo lanes, which I think do work relatively fine with the Kindred. I think the Talia just takes a little bit more time to ramp up, but can be serviceable with the Kindred. I didn't watch the game, so I don't necessarily know what happened. But seeing a 2-7 Kindred with a Kraken Slayer and a Wit's End isn't necessarily the best look.
No, of course not. I mean, that also comes down to like how dedicated are you to getting the Kindred fed, right? Talia is not necessarily like the lane bully that can like shove out and like abuse roam timings better than like, let's say if you have a Silas mid lane who's able to help you invade and there's a CC lock. Right.
Galio's another really good combo with Kindred.
Yeah. That's what we did with Jay, right?
we love Galio. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It seems
great
like
time.
It seems like you're just like in like roll hell at this point. Like, have you guys like firmly decided what you want to do with yourself and Void? Whether you guys want to stick to you mid Void support or?
So the roster we have right now is pretty set. Like I think firmly. It was like kind of original. It was just there were so many like playstyle issues and we weren't practicing a lot. And so we were just thinking, all right, what's easier than just finding consistent players? Let's just fucking role swap. Just go all over the place. We'll figure it out. Something will work. Nothing worked, especially after on stream where we lost brutally 0-2. I was like, I probably need to get out of support. I think I died like 15 times in that series. And yeah, so we went me back mid. Void plays a lot better with our ADC, and we just started actually scrimming like crazy, and it started to work. And we finally like all clicked in our playstyles.
I want to give a shout out to my boy Paradox top lane. He will just take one for the team. I'll tell him to play a champion, and then he picks it, and then here we are. We went 2-0 on the last 2 weeks. He just eats it up, He gets no attention, no shout out. Weak side king right here.
Yeah,
just vibes. Oh yeah, he did. He played the Zac. Gave you guys your obligatory.
Yep.
I was literally
Zac Shen
about
duty.
to say the item. Virtue something.
Radiant Virtue.
Yeah, the obligatory competitive Radiant Virtue. Yeah. Been propping up a lot in high level play where more and more teams are just like slamming multiple of them. Was it LCK? I was watching T1 this morning on the way to work. They put it on Vi. 2 games in a row. They won the second time. Yeah. They won the second time, but the first time it did not look good.
First time their whole team didn't look that good. I was watching the match this morning too. It was rough. But it's T1 game 1 loss usually.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, the effect from Radiant Virtue doesn't even get reduced if you do it multiple times.
Right. Yeah.
That's
so broken.
That is actually crazy.
Yeah, there were pro teams like saying that it was terrorizing scrims.
Mm-hmm.
And teams were just like drafting multiple tanks building it.
Yeah, Karma mid, Zach top. You know, anyone that can build it, just toss it in somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Hey, don't leak our strats for next week. What are you doing?
No, I was
No,
gonna leak it, so I don't play it.
we're not gonna abuse it.
Yeah.
You guys would be a little bit behind the ball there if you're just doing it now.
We're like a few
But
patches late.
I mean,
Yeah, you know.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like the Krypton teams do not play anything close to, I guess, what's popular in pro play right now either. I feel like and granted, we're only like, what, 1 week into 2 weeks into some pro seasons. So, like,
Mhm.
we are just finding out what they're playing. And it's funny to me that we've kind of encapsulated our own little meta, I guess we'll call it. Although it seems like it's last season's meta a little bit still.
Still is like the world's meta. I just remember like we're like in a match or in a scrim or something, and like people pick Zera Yumi, and I'm like, I've seen this on YouTube before. Like they play like Samira not into it, just play it, and it just doesn't work. And I feel like to execute the pro level, like what everyone baseline does, we have to figure out our own little simpler ways to do it.
Yeah.
And that just completely shifts because then everyone starts picking counters into different things, and then we have the meta shift meta in a way.
Yeah. And the meta shift meta has definitely evolved, especially some of the top, like the solo lane focus I've seen on some of the teams. Like some teams, like your team, seems to be really good at getting Caterpillar fed when you guys win. But then you have other teams like Sun Leviathan that's really, really good at snowballing topside and using mid jungle to kind of roam on the side lanes. Macro Beast just plays permanent weak side every game.
Yeah, he just plays Ashe and then just like gets flashed on every game and just is told to like it.
Yeah. And then OME, same deal. OME, very heavy, plays into Riven, Camille on Keo. Outflayed almost always just plays stuff that roams. And then they actually played against Scarlet Vengeance. This? No. Who is this? I'm brain farting. Who is Grape God again? Definitely NMU. That's it. Grape God. Okay. They played for Grape God, which I thought was a weird. Oh, never mind. That's a Morgana. It's a Morgana mid. Okay, that's Beg for Mercy switched to bot, playing support part way into the season, and I thought it worked out really well because him and Grape God get super duper fed. But yeah, kind of like rambling on, so we'll go ahead and pull up last week's power rankings. Last week's power rankings is correct. This is correct. Okay. Last week's power rankings. We had Horizon Gaming, Zenith, Sun Leviathan, Lotus Ink, Bullet, Scarlet Vengeance, The Clown Fiesta, DA Obsidian, definitely NMU, OME Outbreak, Cafe DRX, and Raijin. My little mistake where I put Raijin last. Cafe DRX, you guys still haven't done anything notable. And can you guys agree? Have Cafe DRX done anything that warrants them even being in a conversation to be higher?
No, I feel like they're just like there.
Might be
they
a
have
little
showed up.
To them.
They have showed up to games. That is what they've done.
Participation trophies.
Yes.
Padding KDAs.
All right, so we can agree.
Now it's a little bit.
All right, now we're done.
They've unfortunately arrived. Cafe DRX, you know what's going to happen to you guys now. But Raijin, so as you can see from last week's power rankings, I apparently just threw shit at the wall because it's completely different now. So we've worked together. I've got my own power rankings, and then these guys had aggregate power rankings that I just realized I have not put up on the screen. I did mine, and then I'm going to compare it to what you guys did, and we'll discuss why we disagree. So on the screen now is what I'm going to do for the power rankings this week. As you can see, I've put Sun Leviathan in first. I think that granted, the memes about Sun Leviathan Game 2 draft, yada, 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 that we like to make fun of here, do still happen at times. But I think a team that is ultimately just screwing around every week, being this dominant, says a lot about where they are in their headspace. I think, again, we go back to the match against Horizon where they had multiple subs. Kopek was playing support. Yeah, Kopek was playing support. And their starting support was playing jungle. And then their best player was asleep. Oh no, he was at work. He was stuck at work. He wasn't asleep this time. So spies when he shows up is good. I think that Sun can like consistently be in first now, but I know at least one of you guys ended up disagreeing when you sent me yours. So, um, what would your argument be for like the first second conversation then, guys?
I feel like it's like again tier based. I feel like like we could put like the brackets in between like 1 and 2 and just say like you can kind of pick. I don't really remember too much about Sun. I'm sorry, Kopeck. You know, you guys are obviously just like messing around and dominating people, but like I just feel like from what I've experienced from Horizon Gaming from now and the fact that I think they still haven't dropped a series, that's the only reason I put them number 1. But they can easily like I feel like 1 or 2 is interchangeable, like 1A, 1B.
Okay.
I think the Horizon Gaming and like Full Power Sun are like pretty similar. I think they kind of function in opposite directions though. Like I feel like Scomps, like they just try to play around Scomps more, whereas like Sun plays around the solo lanes more. And the jungler as well. So like it was definitely rough that series when we don't have the big piece that sort of like makes the whole engine work, which is spies. The games become a little bit more difficult for us. With that being said, we did take both of the games to like 30 plus minutes. So they weren't like crazy stomps. I mean, a little bit, like 25-10. They're probably like big gold leads too.
And we were kind of talking about it on while we were preparing the stream. Since Clown Fiesta has finally taken a game off of them, we can use the Clown Fiesta meme to justify it. But what do we think makes Horizon Gaming bleed? If the conversation is they've lost a game now, how do they lose a series?
I think it just comes down to disrupting the bot lane. You get the bot lane behind, and I think it's hard for that team to win team fights. Not sure you guys, the two of you think.
I mean, I was bot lane for that, and I would say like they're just really good 2v2 laning. They're really strong, and I think I agree with that. I feel like if you can like somehow slow it down, maybe have a stronger weak side presence in top and commit more resources to stop that bot snowball, then yeah, I feel like you could probably shut them down. But I feel like it's still pretty hard just because their 2v2 is really solid. So you're gonna have to invest some stuff down there.
I think it's actually the opposite. So I think against them, if you're able to, right, weak side and go 50-50, right? If your bot lane's able to not die, keep up in CS, go 50-50 in lane, right? Who else carries on that team really? Like the jungler is pretty good. When I played against him, the mid laner was okay. And the top lane was okay. But I think really just their bot lane, right? So if you're able to snowball another lane and then move it like their mid lane, if you're able to shut them down and then move like jungler and mid lane, bot lane, and they don't have a lead, I think they're done. I don't think they can really play around anything else. I really think that their bot lane is their strong point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're coming to the same conclusion, but
Just a different path.
processes.
Yeah,
Exactly,
different paths of
right?
getting
Like,
there.
yeah, it like as I'm thinking about it as like actively trying to disrupt the bot lane and put them behind.
Yeah,
I think that's more risky.
I
though,
actually
because
I actually kind of agree with Kalsip. Actually, last week on the podcast, I had a conversation, or 2 weeks ago, the week I had Chelsea on. We talked about the fact that Egg keeps getting Maokai jungle. And I think part of it, while they are strong 2v2 laners, you can play like the super virgin stuff, bot lane, and not like accept ganks. And if you just like ban the point and click stuff, they can struggle to do setup. Like I'm wondering if you draft around solo lane priority and just apply as much pressure to Egg on top side as possible. Is that like an avenue that would be successful against them?
Yeah, I think it really just comes down to how well your bot lane can play that 2v2 weak side, right? Because like you're saying, you'd have to dedicate the bans, kind of like set it up so you're not ever going to be in range, like, and they have to play it again perfectly and not look for like not be caught in these windows. But yeah, I think definitely attacking top works too. and just kind of just like breaking the map from top and just snowballing it out of control.
You think
And then you have like, I don't know,
do you
like
think the Xayah
that bot
buffs
lane
help
has
with
to.
that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zaya's pretty good right now. I mean, Casa, like, how do you think?
Xayah?
Yeah,
Zaya's kind of broken right now. It's a really hard gank angle. Like it's rough because she's able to play safe in lane, and then like come team fights, it's really hard to dive her. Like I play like these carry dive junglers, and it's really hard to reach backline. Especially if like you pair it with like a Lulu or like a Rakan even. It's like she just gets free reign in team fights, and because of her ult and like Gale Force, she's able to reposition. So I think the champion's pretty good right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was hoping we'd be leaning that way, but yeah. So just to put in perspective, guys, the average congregate of the three of these guys voting on their power rankings before the podcast still puts Horizon Gaming Zenith in first. I think there's a good case to say that they could still be first. Sun Leviathan on average was in second. And after third is when things are going to start to change. We both put Lotus Ink Bullets in third. Granted, I had a hard time doing it after seeing them play against you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I did it just because like we're like I think you spoke about like the fluke series, and I think they got their ship back right after this week. So I mean, you can't like I think that more shows about us than it does to kind of discrediting them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was really great to kind of slap back after Chelsea said what she said, but it's all right. I wanted to make sure we killed her as many times as possible. But yeah, I think it's more like we'll see them again in playoffs and see what happens when maybe they're riding high off a win streak. So who knows? Maybe they just dropped a game.
For sure.
I think that game was when we first got our like really shit together, right? We got Paradox on our team. We kind of figured out what we wanted to do, right? We were able to like actually like know what we want to do through scrims, like and I think if they fall behind, they don't really come back. Is the thing. So I think if they continue to play games where they're dominant early game, they'll be fine. But if they fall behind, I don't know.
Yeah, I think to do a little bit of foreshadowing here, I think the match of the week is going to be a big determining factor whether or not they keep their third place spot, at least for myself.
I agree with that.
They're against Sun Leviathan. They're playing tomorrow. No promises. I'm considering streaming it. Macro Beast is begging me to, and it's a big matchup, so I'll see what I can do. There's a possibility it gets streamed, but yeah. So Lotus definitely, they have their question marks, but I think we all can agree that Lotus is kind of they're trying to steer the ship back correct. They have a matchup against Sun that could go one way or the other. They followed up by playing Horizon Gaming, so Lotus could take a bit of a nosedive before getting their like confidence boost match in week 9 going into playoffs. So they're more than likely fine for playoffs. I don't think there's a real situation where they don't make it, but
I think they're pretty solid in like playoffs, at least in the top 4.
Yeah, I think they'll make playoffs. Yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, they'll probably be fine for playoffs. But yeah, where it comes in now, where it starts changing, I was having a hard time. I have these 3 like college teams that I like kind of like blopped in the middle, right? So Scarlet Vengeance, I had heard were out of Rutgers, OME Outbreak, obviously they're OME, and then definitely NMU, the North Michigan team. I kind of personally have been bunching them together more and more often as the season's progressed, because I think there's a clear distinction between Raijin and Cafe DRX at the bottom, Sun, Horizon, and Lotus at the top, and then the rest of you guys kind of figuring out like what your punching weight is in the middle right now. I actually took a risk. I put OME in 4th because I thought OME was the best of the 3 college teams. And then I kind of decided where to throw you guys in from there. Although I'm still not 100% confident. Like, I'm super confused every time I try to do 4 through 7 right now.
Just like the soup.
Again, I'll try to alleviate some of that. I think being like 0-3, I came into the team when we were 0-3, right? And at the time, we really didn't have like our team like identity together. right? And then as things went on, like we started figuring things out. Like we moved Jay to mid, we moved Void to bot lane support. We changed top laners. I came in at jungle, and I think the current roster is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think that like the first 3 weeks, like that was a completely different team than what it is now, and you know we're 2-0 in the last 2 weeks, so.
For sure, yeah. I think you guys are on an upswing, and I'm pretty confident putting you guys there if you can continue to show up against Raijin. You're fine. You're playing Raijin this week. So you have at least one more week of smooth sailing, and then you're against Scarlet Vengeance. I think next week is your statement game. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like the match against Scarlet is what would solidify you guys in the top half of the standing, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's just taking it week by week at this point, and just just trying to collect as many points as we can. It's back-to-back splits now. That the first half of the season we didn't win a single match, so it's kind of a trend at this point, and I kind of don't want to have that happen again. Hopefully next split, but typically this is where we make our run.
I mean, it only matters how you finish. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you guys win your match against Scarlet Vengeance next week, right? I think that's when I would definitely consider you guys in the top 5, maybe top 4. But right now I have definitely MMU. I tried to weigh my power rankings on recent match record. So with MMU being 2-0 in the last 2 weeks, I put them fourth. But I wasn't too sure because it also felt bad putting Scarlet Vengeance below MMU, which I have Scarlet Vengeance at 5th, since Scarlet Vengeance did 2-0 MMU. So yeah, like the whole 4 through 7 is like definitely nebulous, and I think it'd be like, and it's like, if I was to solidify certain teams into certain positions, like I'd feel really bad about putting like you guys in like 7th or 8th when I like totally think that like you guys do not deserve to be 7th or 8th. But it's just all like this group of teams can, any of the teams can be in any of the spots. It's just we'll have to take these next couple of weeks to like really figure out where exactly you guys fit.
I think that's fine. I mean, like, we'll try to prove ourselves, right? Like, we have what 3 more weeks to go.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see where we end up.
For sure.
Right, Jay?
Yes, sir. Winning out from here on out.
Galio duty time.
Winning
Yes,
out
sir.
from here on out. You hear that, Scarlet Vengeance? They're coming for you. You guys need to be on lookout. And I mean, Raijin, you never know what's gonna happen. I think just if you guys
I
are
might
doing
not be at that
badly,
game.
if you guys are doing badly, just use Benjamin. So at least I'm entertained. All right, like I want to see
Excited
I want to
for-
see Benja play some more, especially knowing he hates it. But he's like, I signed up to be a sub. Why am I playing so much? But yeah,
That's the sub duty, but they're in the back of their mind like he's playing every week. One of us is not making it.
it always happens to me when I join like a gold or a silver team too. It's like one person tilts too much and they don't want to play anymore, and it's hard, especially when you're like rotating door of losses. Like I don't know how my team in Helium mentally handles it right now. We lose 2 games a week in 20 minutes or less.
you handle it by role swapping.
We handle
That
it by
literally
role
happened.
swapping
Oh,
and memeing.
that's-
There you go.
Last split of meta, it was the exact same thing for us. Like no scrims, no nothing. We're just like, all right, guys, it's Tuesday. Let's just get this over with.
And it hurts mentally. Like I'm surprised Cafe DRX is still like showing up and doing their thing. And I don't know. I feel like we've got a good crew in Krypton this year. Like you guys are all having good spirits and having fun, and the league seems a lot closer than they traditionally are, in my opinion, despite what it appears to be on paper with Horizon and Sun where they are.
Yeah, I would relatively agree with that. Like I don't think that like the games between like the 4 through 7, like I don't think there's like a decent chance of them winning a whole match, but I think the game, like a game like Horizon versus Horizon versus MMU, I think would be. I think did they play already? Just gonna double check before I sound. Oh yeah, they haven't played. So yeah, like MMU versus Horizon, I think is gonna be an entertaining like 3 games. Now do I expect MMU to win the match? No, but I at least expect the games to be competitive, right? So
Yeah, I think going into playoffs, it's just like I don't know what you guys will be doing to prepare yourselves for playoffs since like JDK said, you guys are trying to just do 1 week at a time right now. But I guess like mentally shifting to playing a longer series tends to really change how you think about things. And I feel like just random stuff happens in meta shift playoffs more than any league I've ever personally been in. Uh, just random crap happens. You can expect any team to possibly pull out a win any week.
Yeah, I mean, best of fives are like a roller coasters of emotions. You just kind of, sitting there 2-0, get reverse swept. Just next thing you know, it's like the worst day ever. There's been the opposite side of it too. We played a lot. I think the bright spot about our team, or at least like some of our players, we played a lot of playoff games. So I think we'll be ready to, set our mind straight. We did the gauntlet last split, so we went through that entire thing.
Goodness, the gauntlet is just mind-blowingly painful just from a draft perspective. I hated preparing draft for the gauntlet. I've had to play in it. Like it's not fun.
3 or 4 teams.
Yeah, I think the last time I played Meta Shift before DA was with Mint and we went to finals. But that was like a year ago.
It just like but I'm excited. And go what's up, Kopek?
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the gauntlet, I think is like regardless of like how painful it is to like prepare, I still think it's like a really good addition Mothership made with the leagues because it just gives everybody a chance to like still keep playing, right? Like, and it's just that extra added intensity as well. It's just
like a wild card spot.
Yeah, definitely helps keeps teams from quitting. I feel like a lot of leagues have a problem where teams just give up and stop showing up and don't play. And I'm still going to show up every week just in the off chance that I can do a win in Gauntlet, just pull a win out of my ass in the Gauntlet. Like,
exactly right.
Yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and go to our match of the week. With no surprise, there's only one real close match coming up this week, or at least one match that has like severe ramifications. I know we talked about NMU versus Horizon being exciting this week, but to no surprise, Sun Leviathan taking on Lotus Ink Bullets tomorrow, and the spread, with the exception of Cowsit believing in us at Sun, believing in our 2-0, the rest of us understand that Sun Game 2 is very much a meme, is very much a thing. Don't pick Heimerdinger support, Todd. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And Tuller should not pick Pantheon mid.
No Pantheon mid either.
Mid.
They won the game, but it didn't look clean.
They're cooking up some weird Game 2 drafts.
They played their first match in Style Esports yesterday, and it gave me heart problems. It was hard to watch. It was a 2-0. It was the most painful 2-0 I've ever watched. Yeah.
I think I put 2-0 because it's like the momentum thing. I think again after Lotus Inc. lost, like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but could have been a fluke. But if they're behind, I don't know. Like I think they against us they swapped out their top laner after game 1. So I don't know. I don't know about their mentals.
Yeah,
we'll have to see. I mean, I do want to see them go 2-0, but I don't know how feasible that is.
Yeah, I think for Lotus too, it kind of depends on what roster they bring. Chelsea mentioned that they don't swap top because they want to. They swap top because they have a player who can't make it to all the matches. But I'm presuming that based on the fact that they chose a weird day, they chose tomorrow, Saturday, to do it like later in the night. I feel like they specifically chose it to make sure that the whole full Lotus roster shows up, and so Macro Beast shows up.
Well, I know that in our match, that Nuffy's like mentally broke down after game 1, and they had to swap in what's his name?
Yeah,
Kongi. But like I really do think that Kongi actually might be the more stable, better top laner. So if that's their sub, I feel like actually he's probably.
I think
'Cause, like,
Zongi's
hearing
just
the-
a good player in general. I think Zongi's a
Yeah,
good
he is.
player. Like he doesn't feel. From what I've heard, he doesn't seem like he feels like starting, but he absolutely can and performs well every time I see him play personally. So.
So I feel like that might be the thing if they do have Nuffy starting top, like you said, coming from like a losing angle in the game, like trying to mount that comeback. At least from what I heard in comms, saying that he wasted 30 minutes in a game and that he should probably not play game 2 is it's definitely not a great morale boost for the squad going into the second game.
I do appreciate someone having the mental, like the self-awareness to be like, yeah, I'm not in a mental state to do this. You should sub me out. Like, I don't feel like a lot of people do that. I personally just like, I tilt and burn. I know I'm guilty.
I think a lot of people like internalize stuff like that.
It's just a
And
game.
like, well, it's just a game. Why do you have to be bad?
Yeah, so most of us agree, probably 2-1 Sun. We want to give Lotus the benefit of the doubt, but right now Lotus need to put up or shut up because they need to hold on to that top spot going into playoffs because momentum's going to matter a lot. So yeah. With that, the final segment of the week is weekly predictions. We not only predicted what we thought was going to happen in the match of the week, but we also have weekly predictions. OME versus Scarlet Vengeance stream match yesterday, like I said, was a 2-0 in favor of OME, so we're not going to predict that. We already said Sun Leviathan versus Lotus would be 2-1. Most of us said it would be 2-1 Lotus Ink Bullet, so we'll go with that. And then Scarlet Vengeance versus the Clown Fiesta. We have an asterisk on that. 3 of us said 2-1 Scarlet Vengeance. 1 of us said 2-1 the Clown Fiesta. Would you like to elaborate?
I'm just hyped about Clown Fiesta. I don't know. I was watching their stream. They just seem like funny guys, and I just want them to win. So, like, please prove them wrong. Get me a dub. I'm rooting for these guys. I'm set the hype train.
They are really funny.
They're really funny. It's so funny.
Shout out. Thank you for DMing me to say that I should be proud that they did it. They made my prediction come true. I begged them to take 1 game off Horizon by being clowns, and they did it. They did it. And who knows? Maybe they'll do the same thing to Scarlet Vengeance. I think Scarlet Vengeance should be like ringing the alarm buzzer if they lose to Clown Fiesta this week, though.
It's funny being on the opposite side of like playing against, like you said, like when they chimp out and just like go, just like full speed ahead, and like next thing you don't know, your Nexus explodes like 20 minutes later.
Like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, did we just lose?
Anyways, the others are pretty straightforward. Cafe DRX 0-2 OME Outbreak. Cafe DRX still haven't done anything worthwhile. Definitely NMU. Horizon Gaming, we did talk about how exciting it might be. We still predict Horizon Gaming is going to 2-0, but we think North Michigan has a chance at doing some interesting stuff. Maybe they take a game. The safe estimate is 2-0 Horizon, though. And finally, DA Obsidian, you guys are riding momentum. Please keep riding the momentum. We're going to give you a 2-0. And I just think Raijin has a lot to work on if they're going to hope to take a game. I think like Cafe DRX and Raijin are just kind of punching above their weight class until they're proven otherwise. Are there any others that you guys have thoughts on that might be a little different than what we actually said? Any thoughts that you've come to while we've talked throughout the night?
I think everything's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I think the DA series might be a 2-1. I don't know.
Could be a trap
We got-
game.
Don't
We
say
gotta
that.
see who can make it to the games.
I got a little bit nervous against Cafe DRX. I messaged Void before. I was like, I think we should win this, but I'm like kind of nervous. I feel like this is like a trap game for us. Everyone's saying we should win. So hopefully we don't get the yips or something. I don't want to say it. Don't. Hopefully we don't get the yips.
Don't
and
jinx yourselves.
Jinx it.
Yeah, I mean Chelsea
Can't
went
be too
on
confident.
Chelsea went on to lose to you guys as soon as she was on the podcast, so maybe it's cursed. Please,
Oh, no.
please, can we come back to next week's cast and we're not talking about this trend anymore?
Yeah.
I'm tired of my predictions being wrong and cursed. I'm tired of having to dress up in Men in Black and like flash everybody and be like, "Yo, hey, just kidding. It didn't actually, it didn't happen."
delete the VOD. Just delete the VOD.
I just get DMs after every match. Dory, your VOD didn't post. Quick.
No, you just gotta do the Twitter special of just doubling down.
Just double down.
The double into triple into quad down.
Horizon doesn't win a game for the rest of the season. Maybe I curse them. Who knows? But yeah.
That'd be rough.
Yeah, I just want to thank the three of you for taking your time to be on the podcast. I'm excited to have this posted up to YouTube soon. Maybe we'll pull it up on stream tomorrow before the match if we do stream it. Like I said, I do have to check my schedule and see if any casters are willing to show up. So again, thank you guys. Do you have any shout outs before I close us out?
Don't think so.
At Let's Shake Lauren on Twitter. That's all I'll say.
Let J Lauren on Twitter. Okay. Get your ass back down to Neon. Get your ass back. Yeah, guys. What do you think? Any thoughts? Any shout outs?
Not really. Thanks for having us, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to
It was
have you
fun.
guys too. It was very fun. So, again, for all of your matches, make sure that you go to twitch.tv/metashiftleague, or if Krypton is being covered or this channel is being used for any reason, catch me at twitch.tv/IamDoryK. Again, thank you guys so much for catching this episode of Metacast 36, and I will see you next week.